for some really interesting panel discussions out here. And our first panel discussion is based on retail exclusive. How do you foresee retail licensing and approach to retail licensing? And for this, I would like to call on stage our moderator, Mr. Vishal Sinha, who's a growth hacker and startup evangelist, Association of India and brand licensing space. Let's have a huge round of applause and invite on stage our moderator, Mr. Vishal Sinha. Calling on our panelists for the day, designer Mr. Krishna Mehta of the very well-known famous brand India Circus. He has been growing up in the hustle and bustle of the city life, and in the midst of all the symbols, vibrancy, heritage, and pride in Bombay, he started at a very young age working with the textiles in the family business Zeba, absorbing the inspiration that would later inform his design style. And as we all know, India Circus, through such an outreach. Well, moving on, our next panelist for the day, Mr. Rajiv Merchant. He's the founder and CEO of India Home Variations LLP, which is the driving force behind Tangerine, one of the India's largest and fastest growing Indian bedding furnishing brands. Let us welcome him with a round of applause. Okay, I need this, round of applause, thing going on, right? Thank you. Calling on stage our keynote speaker, Mr. Harpal Singh Soki from Turban Tarka. Let's have a huge round of applause for the man behind Namak Shamak Rhyming. Our next panelist for the day, Dr. Hitesh Bhatt-Rai, who is the director of Marcom Retailers Association of India. He is also the editorial director of Story, a magazine by the industry for the industry, and has initiated startup awards in retail and retail technology domains in India with the aim to create world-class retail ideas and success stories. Thank you so much. And starting with our panel discussion, once again, retail exclusive, and how do you foresee retail licensing and approach to retail licensing? Thank you.
Hello. Also, I'd like to invite Chinmay Bhatt from Hometown. Chinmay, why don't you come on the... Can I get one more chair? Can we just make a little adjustments? Yeah. So here I would want all of the co-panelists to introduce themselves and talk a little bit about the business they are in, and then we will take on the discussion there. So we'll start with left to right. So Chinmay.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Chinmay Bhatt. I belong to Future Group. I head homeware for a brand called Hometown, which is an exclusive. We are exclusive home retailers. So I head the category homeware, which includes, kitchenware, tableware, home decor, as well as home furnishings. I've been working here for another 5 years. Previously, I was with At Home, so I've been with home retail for the past 10, 12 years, The constant endeavor that I have is, bringing fashion into home. How do you bring that? So that's been my endeavor. So, and I think we'll discuss this later.
Thank you, Chinmay.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Hitesh Bhatt. I am the Director for Marketing for Retailers Association of India. It's a pan-India national body, or I can say the only national body for organized retail in India. We are the unified voice of Indian retail. We work very closely on 3 major pillars along with the industry stakeholders. One is we do the advocacy for the industry. Second, we do learning and development programs. And the third we do is co-create and create marketing platforms across the country to promote modern retail in India. So that's the part of it. I'm also the editorial director for our magazine known as Storai, which goes to close to 50,000 CXOs, MDs, chairmen across the country. So in a nutshell, we are the unified voice of the Indian industry.
Hi, everybody. This is Chef Harpal once again, and I'm into the business of food and the business of spreading happiness through food. Thanks.
Hi. Hi everybody. Myself Rajiv Merchant. Quickly telling about myself, last 20 years, basically a person of startup in fashion space. First startup Trigger Jeans, way back 94, 2000, then 2004 to 14 Portico, furnishing, and 14 onwards Tangerine. Did licensing for almost all kids brands at some point of time. Also did Tommy Hilfiger, Star Parivar. So probably I have catered to almost all consumer segments at various price points and have been deep into Indian market for last 20 years. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Krishna Mehta. So I'm the founder and executive director of India Circus, which is now a Godrej company. I've been in the industry for several years, ever since I got back from the United States, was with Good Earth, with the Bombay store, with Westside. And my primary belief when I returned was, considering my family business was only textile, I always wanted to lend my design capabilities to other products. So essentially, I'm a believer in the fact that a design house and a manufacturer are two separate entities, as the gentleman earlier from Being Human said. Everyone needs design support, and basically we built a brand around that, and we are here to give it. Simultaneously, of course, the big business is India Circus as a brand. We now will have 16 stores pan-India. Our website has been around for a while. And I've just got a few slides because I'm not a part of this industry as such. I've just got a few slides to show you the kind of licensing work we've done. So you get a sense of how we lend our design support to brands.
So welcome all, and let me set the tone for the retail exclusive here we are to discuss. So on this subject, we have managed to get a pretty diverse portfolio of people, industry stalwarts. We have Hometown, which has been the disruptor in the home furnishing and homeware space, and they are the leading modern retailer in the space. So Chinmay is here, who heads the houseware and various other categories in Hometown, because we really want to understand, even from the retailer side, how they view licensing, because all we generally hear in such forums is more licensors and licensees, but I think the retail element has been missing, and I've been attending quite a few such conferences. And the idea was to really bring in the focus and how, because retail is the primary driving force for the growth of licensing, right from the most developed markets like in the US and Canada and even now in India. And we have, that's why Dr. Hitesh Bhatt, who represents the Retail Association of India, he has a diverse perspective, being in the helm of business, and they represent the modern retail industry, so that will give us really a pretty valuable insight from the industry. Then we have Chef Harpal Sokhi, who doesn't need any introduction. He's a pioneer chef, television celebrity, and he's also he's just launched his brand here amongst us some time back in food, non-food, culinary. So I think that's a great insight to have from somebody who's just getting into the industry. And Mr. Rajiv Merchant is being a pioneer, and especially right from fashion to home. And Portico was a disruptor where there was market biggies like Bombay Dine, Wellspun, and all really holding the market. And Portico kind of made inroads and disrupted the market. So Rajiv is now an entrepreneur with his own brand Tangerine in home furnishings. And definitely Krishna, because I think art licensing was something which hasn't really been taken off, and he's the India story, and he's been a disruptor there, and good to have a pretty diverse set of people to share their ideas. I would ask guys to really play Krishna's slide, because he wanted to run us through. So let us understand what his perspective, and then we'll set on to the panel discussion. Can we have the India Circus presentation?
Sorry, I just wanted to run you through the kind of work we've done so far, so you all have a sense of how we're working with the industry. You can go fast, is that all right? Yeah. Next. So these are our stores, of course, which are now opening pan-India. Next. Just quickly go through this. So our first major licensing was with Future Group for the Dreamline collection, which they have pan-India. I think they've done about 4 or 5 crores of business with this collection. They basically wanted our India story to come out to Future Group customers. And if you see the next slide, you'll see the images of what we did with Future Group. This is an ongoing licensing arrangement. Next. This is an ongoing licensing arrangement with Future Group, and it's brought a hell of a lot of interest in their stores with consumers, and the product is actually quite a sell-through, thankfully. Yeah. Next. We also tied up with India's largest manufacturer of ceramics, Claycraft. So the Claycraft collection, a lot of you must have been seeing, is now available pan-India. Next. So this is a range we did with Claycraft. All these people that we're working with are people who need design support, who need help in design, and they need marketing support. So we actually are a double-edged sword there. Next. I'm sure a lot of you have seen our range with Marshall's wall covering, again available everywhere. Also again, in our signature style to the consumers who want wallpaper pan-India. We've recently tied up with Bombay Dyeing to do an all-India collection. We're doing about 4 themes for them, which will be out in the next few months. Next. We also tied up with a perfumer who's doing large-scale manufacturing of perfumes in India. This is India's first perfumer, and this range is available. Macmorize, who I saw is a part of the agenda today, we've also done a licensing royalty agreement with Macmorize. We are now signing Archie's as well for a signature licensing royalty agreement. Next. And then we have Metro Shoes and Kama Ayurveda, which are 2 brands which we are tying up with now. So I'm done. So the only reason why I wanted to show this is because I think, as you were saying, license or licensee, where we come from is to provide the design support and to receive the licensing royalty fee, which is different from being a house which sells licensed product like Walt Disney or things like that.
Thank you, Krishna. I think it was quite you have been a disruptor in this space, and personally I've been kind of reviewing the brands, and I think it's visually very distinctive, appealing. It's truly Indian in heart, and like I said, since morning we've been talking about Indian brands and how Indian brands have made a difference. And I think home is one space where even the retail is yet to see the robust growth, and we have early players like Hometown and a couple of other more retailers trying to really grow the space. As Hitesh said, organized, unorganized, I would say more in the contemporary retail, because I at times feel that the unorganized guys are also more organized. So modern retail and I would say traditional retail. So in the modern space, how the transformation is happening, and I think we are all at a very great point of time. You're sitting all together while it's the convergence of modern retail, e-commerce, digital, social media, influencer. I think it was never before where we had everybody on the same platform, voice out. I think reviews were never so important. So just to start with, I would want Hitesh to really run through from the RAI side what and how do they see the home retail going from wherever it was from now on, and with the players like IKEA really disrupting the category, where do we see the home retail evolve and the impact on licensing?
Okay, so small correction, Vishal and everybody, it's not organized or unorganized, it's modern retail. Because as far as Panwala is also concerned, he is extremely organized the way he does his business. So the word that we use is modern retail. Coming back to the segment, I'll just step 2 steps before I answer your question about the. I just wanted to brief you about the whole industry size, where we are, and now what categories have been successful, and where the home trade, the home retail part is coming. The Indian retail industry is close to $660 billion as per the Deloitte report, Deloitte RAI report, and out of that 10% is organized. So let's say around $66-70 billion is organized. If you look at the e-commerce, if you look at the organizations modern, and the rest of them will be the unaccounted players. So this 10% roughly estimates around $70 odd billion of this. And if you look at the licensing industry of that, the market is approximately 1.5 billion in India. You look at the various categories that there in this. The entertainment would be close to 400, fashion would be close to 600, sports would be close to 40-50 million. So roughly, this is the breakup of the categories, and the rest goes to the other categories as well. So there is still a humongous scope. When you come to this home segment, which is coming up in a big way. Traditionally, we have been very successful in the kids segment. We have been successful in the sports segment. But this segment is something that because of the demographic changes that are taking place, and at the rate at which India is growing approximately 70% of GDP, the consumer taste, preferences, etc. are now being evolved, changed because of XYZ factors that Vishal mentioned. We at retail always look at not only retail, for any business, the economics of the business that comes into place. Will licensing, and there has to be strong players who can license their products. So IKEA is one, but IKEA, I would not use the word licensing person. IKEA is an international leader, it's a cult brand. So comparing, they don't license. But comparing that, so IKEA is completely, we can say majority of the retailers, not only in that segment, look forward to IKEA as a benchmark. But the point that I want to draw is, because traditionally the segments which have been, the categories that have been catered to in licensing are the sports or the kids segment, or till some extent the celebrity segments, which have been very successful. This segment has not been given its due recognition yet. Why? Because lack of international or maybe national, let's talk about brands rather than national or international brands. That is one part. Second, in this segment, it's a completely different segment, and we have expert veteran out here. To run this kind of a business, you need completely different kind of stores, and the economies with the real estate prices and so on and so forth. I won't get into those details, but still India is maybe far, we are still far, maybe a few years later only we'll be able to concentrate or maybe get traction in this segment. But when you talk about licensing in other segments, I see retail in the sports and in the celebrity segment, it is going up in a big way. International brands are coming in the apparel segment. The international brands are coming, but this segment is something which we are also looking forward for the traction to take up.
Okay, having heard from you in terms of the category hasn't really been in the front driving seat for the retail phenomena that we are all experiencing when talking about home. But having said that, hometown has been pretty much, being a pioneer, and Hometown is a flagship brand of Future Group. So I would want Chinmay to share, how and what has been their experience so far, and they have kind of offered some platform for licensed merchandise. They have been retailing, and what's been their experience and how they see this opportunity. I think, Chinmay, if you could throw some light on your experience with licensed brands and typically how the home retail is going to evolve from where we are today.
Yeah, so we have been promoting a lot of licensee products, be it Sanjeev Kapoor, where we work very closely on the cutlery and the tableware range that they have. But as a retailer, I will let me take this opportunity to express my pain point. Okay, Krishna has some wonderful designs in bed linen. He has some wonderful designs in tableware. He's done fantastic with Marshalls. Okay. Me as a retailer or as a consumer, I've come to Hometown and I keep all these together. So the constant endeavor for any home retailer or especially for Hometown is you don't require an interior decorator. You don't require any professional help to do up your home. Okay. So it'll be lovely if you have, although Krishna has a very, very distinct style of designing, you can just make out that this is Krishna written all over it. Why can't we have a coordinated bed sheet with a mug, with the Marshalls wallpaper that we are selling? Although the style is same, but me as a consumer, I'm still struggling. So why don't you have sub brands or have hero stories where you can, I know putting all your eggs in one basket would be a little difficult for you. You will not scale up, but why not have the same design so that it's coordinated? That's the endeavor that you should be having. So probably just a small tip coming from a retailer. But having said that, there has been a growing market with licensed products. So as a retailer, I have we get a talking point because the licensor is also advertising, and it also gives us those little extra margins to probably retail the products at a little premium price. Obviously, if it's very premium, people would not invest so much of money. But it's still at a very, very nascent stage. Unlike apparels or fashion or food, where it's like you just mentioned, home it's at a very, very, very nascent stage. So probably retailers and the licensors have to work together probably to create one brand presence, or there has to be a brand personality, right? Krishna has a personality. He has to go one step forward and probably create that that synergy within all the designs that he's selling to various people. So I think that's how I see it.
Thanks so much, Chinmay. I believe Chinmay has made a great point. Cross-category integration, I would sum it up as, and I think some kind of retail integration from the brand, though you might work with different partners, is something which is need of the hour, I feel, and I would want Krishna to respond to Chinmay. How, as being an art licensor, does he, what's his ethos and what's his belief, and how does he see the entire experience being translated to the consumer, right? Because I always believe anything that we do has to have consumer at the center of it. Yes, Krishna.
I mean, first of all, I think you have a great product. I think Home Center is, you've always maintained an identity which...
Hometown
has always maintained an identity which works, and I've seen your visuals. I mean, they're amazing. I think, I think with what you're saying is India Circus is already that brand. Yeah. Although we've lent out our name to multiple people, if you go to an India Circus store, you do have the full experience. That being said, our stores need to be much bigger if we have to incorporate furniture and other things within the stores. But I get what you're saying. But also on your point, I know you manage what you do, but if you work with, say, a team within your organization, the home buying and the dining buying and all the buying groups are very different. Yeah. So what essentially happens is if the home buyers want to work, say, with me, the dining buyers may not. So what eventually happens is your store has my designs on cushions, but not on the crockery because of your organizational structure. I don't mean it that way, but you know what I'm trying to say, right? So because your buyers and heads are different, it's all fragmented within the store.
Yeah, I know that was a pain point for you. I know you would come out with that it's not necessary people would be buying everything coordinated, but at least, your designs are distinct. You can just make out that, okay, this is India Circus or this is Krishna. But
If I take
yeah,
train
it's a pain point. Yeah,
If
visually
I
also
take-
we could see it.
If I take your colleague's
Yeah, so India
example-
Circus, India Circus, you're taking the same thing. So why not bring it to Krishna Mehta also? So why not have the same designs? That's the point I was just trying to make. And probably like what you did with Future Group with us, where you've given the entire bed linen and you've given that sense of aesthetic, working with retailers across categories. So I had all the categories that you're doing, with different partners, and they're all our vendors. So probably tying up with one retailer and then having a brand personality, having one signature style would always help. So, and then you'll not have to run around and probably convince people that, okay, this is coordinated, why don't you try this also? Everything involves money, right? Yeah.
So just to share with the forum, I think I've been on both sides of licensing, and early days when I was with Disney and was working with Future Group and Shopper Stop and all the retailers, this is always a battle, because when you go to them, they would say that we sell category wise and you have to meet buyers. And I think retailers are structured in a certain, but you should always, I said, it's not the retailer or the licensor, it's the consumer to decide. So I've seen, let's say if I look at my own kids or kids in general, if they are a fan of a certain character, they want to buy into the character across categories. So I think internationally that's been happening. Here, I think it's either Krishna has a shop-in-shop concept with the retailer, or maybe some kind of a frontline visual merchandising and a relationship manager which can put together and have the things across licensees on board, because practically that's the model Disney had adopted that time. We kind of facilitated several licensees meeting with the retailer, and then this entire thing, and it has to be brand driven. So I think that's the way to go, just a little input, because ultimately the consumer is buying into your product. He does not know what's the arrangement, what's the structure. If the experience is delivered at India Circus store, then the consumer would want the same experience somewhere else. So I think that's a little cue to it. At the same time, Rajiv, who has been in the home furnishing space and been a pioneer there, and I think he has been leveraged licensing, not like anybody else that I know in the home furnishing. So Rajiv, why don't you share what led you to that in early days, and currently what do you foresee, because you have been part of as a licensee in early days and even now, and you see the transition and how it's gaining traction. So could you share your inputs?
So I think I'll go a step backward. First of all, want to comment on what Chinmay and Krishna said. See, one of the key challenges of a home category is consumer wants all coordinated rooms, kitchen, living room, etc. So that's a consumer need. And I think as a marketeer, we need to address that. That's point number one. The problem in addressing that is there are so many diverse technology and diverse manufacturing setups are required. So typically you end up having not one, but at least half a dozen licensee for any brand which wants to make sense to consumer. That's a point two. Third point is when you have 6 licensee sitting on one side and 6 buyers or 3 buyers sitting on the other side, in Indian kind of scenario, making 9 people agree on one common agenda is the toughest task which I encountered. We tried many times with Vishal on Sanjeev Kapoor and whatnot, but I can tell you those projects never take off. That's the reality of life. I think we must accept and figure out a solution which can work for everybody. Having said that, I think other point is the segments are very different. In terms of your luxury segment, which is primarily a top furnishing retailers, I think that's what they aim for. Then you have kitchen and cutlery and other items, which is primarily FMCG type of products. So the distribution network required, even beyond modern retail, is very diverse. Mindset required is very diverse. and that makes life little more challenging for any marketeer to want to address. The point which is actually creating the biggest hindrance in the growth has been a quality retail space. So if you want to build a good lifestyle or medium premium price point luxury brand which can mean something to consumer, you need a space which in my voluntarily agreed for Krishna Mehta in this forum, but I can tell you, when you go to him after this, he will make your life difficult to give that space to you.
I agree with Rajiv.
Okay, so the point is, there are hardly 3-4 retail chains in India, which is Hometown, Home Center, Home Stop, At Home. If you add good number of stores of all of them put together, you can count them not beyond 30, 40. Though they probably together would have 100 stores, but I can tell you that rest of 60 will not be as productive as one wants to be. So I think that is still a very low number for any licensor to make a great program at retail and move further. And when you make a program for retail, you need to invest in fixture, you need to invest in manpower. Again, dividing a manpower cost over 6 licensee is again another painful challenge which comes, and it's a not small cost. The moment you talk about 100 doors and each employee is getting 15,000 rupees, the cost here is not very small, and that needs to be leveraged. So I think that is first point, which is a hindrance, that number of stores available with a good quality retail space are very few in numbers in India. Number 2, things are changing. Primarily, I think internet is driving the change. So the moment you probably go to Amazon's or Flipkart or Myntra's of the world, maybe creating a store there is easier, but there you need to work with discounts. Otherwise, you don't really, Indian market is not mature to give a full price business to brands and marketeers to make real sense to consumers. So I think that's the second point which I would say. And the third, I think many times working with licensors, I think they all think they have great proposition, they have great brands, and that's a great appeal. But most of the time, what you need to ask yourself is, what does it mean to my consumer? What could mean to a retail consumer in US, does it mean the same to my consumer sitting in India, in Vikhroli, in Hometown? That's the first question which you should ask. The second question is, I think, whether a brand is willing to spend necessary efforts to activate at my store. There could be a great brand, but then brand needs to invest in fixtures, brand needs to invest in some marketing activation programs on the retail front. Are they willing to do? And these all require investment. And typically all licensors, friends sitting over here, I think they're all driven by their balance sheets profitability. So when it comes to committing resources which would not make profit sense for next 2-3 years of the business, I think it's a chicken or egg situation that you don't make it big because you're not invested. And because you're not invested and you don't make it big, you don't invest. I think that's the trap in which we have been working so far in licensing space. I think that's what I wanted to share. Thanks.
Rajiv, that was quite an insightful, I think you just kind of summarized it all. Now I would go to Chef Harpal Sokhi to add a little more energy because it's been too heavy for all of us to note the hard realities now. So Chef Harpal has just launched his brand licensing program today, and definitely he's here to learn from all the eminent co-panelists, which include retailers, designers, and I think if some kind of a hybrid association, because when the industry is small, I think everybody has to work in a united fashion to really take it to the next level. And I think collaboration is the key word. So Chef Harpal, if you could tell the entire forum and the co-panelists in terms of your vision that you intend to achieve, and why is that so? And I think where he comes from, I think it's a convergence happening because of content, social media. I think it's the age of influencer marketing. So there he holds a great position because, and like everybody says, content is king. And today, while you are trying to retail home various kind of gadgets, but how really it helps you really culminate or cook well and efficient, that's what Chef Harpal is trying to launch here, and he's going to explain you.
Well, actually, hearing all of them, it's a little scary at, at this moment. But having said this, yeah, uh, the best part is the country is opening up, and so is the kitchen space, and so is the space for fashion, colors, Indianness, rootedness. So that's the beauty of the country right now. Yes, we might go through troubles, I'm saying. But having said this, like in my own house, I still have 6 kinds of, those traditional Hendalium kadais. I still have the new age non-stick pans. I still have a new age maybe tandoor, which I might use once in 6 months, but I do have. And I see the country possessing these things because they might be a way to show off, and it might keep increasing space. So is the space in the kitchen, where you probably never thought that you would make Chinese at home. You would rather order Chinese from outside. So now people do invest in culinary aspects which are outside of their space, and they want those things. So now people also understand that if I have to make noodles, I definitely need a wok, although a wok is just a kadai with a handle, a long handle one side, but they want that. They might have a kadai at home, but they want a wok because they believe that a wok makes a lot of influence when they make noodles, and it definitely does. Like in hotels, we know that if I have to make a little larger quantity of chicken, so I need to have a flat lagan, which is where the chicken does not break. And if I were to make a biryani, I need to have a tapered pot on top. So people have started understanding these things. People also started understanding that if I need my kitchen to be a little better, I will not use a dirty, stinking towel. I rather have proper silicone gloves to hold this. And these markets are slowly growing. They will not grow overnight. They will grow. Probably we might not, in my lifetime, I might not be able to do justice completely, but there is a growth story that has started. And believe me, the best part about this growth story is that we are a food-loving nation, and we love to spend time in kitchen, and we want fashion and food in the kitchen also, and it's there, going to stay there, and it's only going to grow, be it table linen, be it crockery, cutlery, everything, every space, there will be a show-off, showcase. There will be 2 sets of, or 3 sets of spoons. Probably one they use every day at home, one when average kind of a person comes at home as a guest, one at the top end, who comes at home, where there is a label and there is an aspiration, where the person wants to show off that, yes, so you will see these 3 categories there at home. Like at a home, you see 6 kinds of pressure cooker. So one for 1 portion, one for 2 portion, and one probably the daughter-in-law brings in at home also. So all these categories are here to stay. They are only going to grow, and that's the best part. And probably there will be a lot of learning curve for all of us, and we will learn and we will keep growing. It's only because we all love great food.
So I would like to want to Rajiv to respond to this, because he has been into hardlines and furnishings, because he's doing multiple categories. And also Chinmay, if you can look at what do you have to say to Chef Harpal's vision and the opportunity that he sees, because I think consumer is buying somewhere, if not modern retail, traditional, or now e-commerce. So would you just...
I think first point which I would like to make is, I think brand licensor stands for Consumer Connect. So I think that's a great thing which Mr. Harpal brings on table, that he has a connect with his consumers who love him for what he is. And that's a prime requisite to start any licensing program. Point number 2 is, I think this Consumer Connect, to be converted into a reality of products, you need 2 people. One, a great manufacturing domain expertise person, and second is a designer. I think combination of that can translate Consumer Connect into great tangible products, which can mean a lot to consumer at a right price point and can generate, I think, a good licensing program. The third part which I would like to say is, I think as Chef Harpal pointed out, or probably what Mr. Manish said earlier, though all is crowded, I think there are spots, bright spots coming up. So what I can see, Chef Harpal is bringing that bright spots. There's a gap, there's a lot of consumer connect, and then I think that can be converted into business opportunity for a long time.
Thank you, Rajiv. Chinmay, what's your take on this?
So like chef said that he has got a Hindalco hard anodized product as well as a non-stick, and there is a wok which is nothing but a kadai with a handle, you know. So unless and until the consumers know this, what's the difference between, you know, what can be cooked in a Hindalco hard anodized pan versus what can be cooked in a non-stick, and what are the health benefits? Because now, you know, so traditionally people used to use the same non-stick till the coating is out and you can see the aluminium, you know, part, and still continue, because who's cooking in the end? It's the bai or the Maharaj in the house who's cooking it, you know. So he doesn't care because he has to finish and go. You don't care because you don't have time, you know. So unless and until we educate the consumers as to, you know, what is meant for what, there are people. So you know, homeware is the fastest growing segment right now. We're growing over by 50%. It's nothing but, you know, giving a solution to what the consumer wants, and how well you can, you know, educate them, and how well it is packaged or how well it is designed. So like Rajiv just mentioned that there has to be a, you know, a synergy between the design and the product. So he has a way, he has followers, right? He's preparing food. People want to see, you know, what recipe chef is going to make next. All he has to do is, you know, explain to them why is he using this pan, or what is so special in it, you know. How is it going to, you know, how is it going to help in seasoning the product, or how, you know, what are the benefits. So if you do that, I don't think, you know, people would mind dishing in that extra bit of money, or probably, when I say extra bit of money, it is about changing or having two different set of pans inside the same house, rather than having only one. So, you know, that's the need of our.
Yeah, I think, Vishal, I just want to add one point here. Yeah, so I think when you visit a store like IKEA, you would see 3 or 4 looks being sold. I know of an international research company which spent 2 months with 4 researchers in India, the Indian kitchens, and they came out with a report which I was privy to go through it. One of the biggest finding was it's one of the most heterogeneous kitchen they have found in the world, where there are all kind of materials starting from plastic to kitchen to glass to melamine in different colors and looking very assorted, especially after dining. When you see the sink, you realize what complex mess we have created in our kitchen. So I think the point what they are trying to say is, if somebody can coordinate for a consumer, there's the greatest opportunity in this world. That's one thing. And the second point is, I think kitchen is the area where highest investment in home takes place. I think we all love food, as he rightly says.
So I think it's pretty interesting what Rajiv said, you know, the most heterogeneous kitchen in the world. I think it really showcases the bright spot that we are talking the wall for Krishna and even Chef Harpal, because like as Chinmay said, if somebody can educate the consumer, okay, how to make your cooking very efficient, I think there is a huge scope of how branded content married with a product which can really solve a certain consumer problem, and which if you can do a online communication versus offline retail, I think that's the quite a model to work on. But having said that, I think the Krishna's journey, how it's been through various organizations that he's worked through, I think he would definitely have some great insights, and all the formats that he's worked through, like Good Earth and Bombay Store, have a distinctive imagery and appeal to a certain consumer. So how does Krishna, how do you foresee with your journey with the premium kind of retailers in the specialty zone? Now you have your own art licensing program, and with partners like Claycraft, which are very massy in their appeal. So how are you trying to bring that balance of quality, art and pricing, and how does it impact your positioning?
I just want to, I think the word education is very important in the Indian community, and in retail in India. It's very important to educate a consumer as they go about their shopping experience. Another thing is being a differentiator. There's always space for being a differentiator within a crowded segment, which I think is also very important. And the third most important thing today is fast fashion, which is you make a product that's more affordable than what it used to be. When I was with Good Earth, the only thing I'd hear from everyone is, oh my God, you're so expensive. Oh my God, you're so expensive. But they'll still buy it, but a very small number of people will buy it. So the whole aim of India Circus essentially was to be at great quality, great price, and great design. And we made an effort to sort of stay on that level. So the moment you make a product, fast fashion, where you think you can buy it easily and change it within a period of time, I think that's very important. The moment you think you're going to invest in a product and you're stuck with it, that makes that product less, you don't feel like buying it as much. So it's very important in today's market, especially with all the choices out there, to see if I'm rich, I'd wear something, but I'd buy Gap for my children, right? I'd buy Banana Republic, but my kids would wear Gap, or they'd wear Old Navy. So you have to be at all levels of the spectrum, and at the same time create that look that the consumer wants and that you want to educate with them and sell, but it does not have to be expensive. And I think a lot of the premium brands today internationally are expensive, but they've been around for hundreds and hundreds of years. I think the only brand that does what you're saying is Ralph Lauren. I mean, Ralph Lauren has paint, has this, has that, but they managed to put all of it within a Ralph Lauren sort of store, which is actually quite difficult, but somehow all the licensees and licensors worked in that environment.
I think that's a great benchmark to really look at, Ralph Lauren, which Krishna said. I would, Hitesh, Dr. Hitesh, why don't you, just kind of give the perspective and some definitely research you would look at. Why is the primary reason? Is it the reality or the ROI over space? Because I believe home stores, which also includes furniture, but though they are the average selling price is high, definitely. But what has been one factor, if as RAI you think you have come across, why the growth of the modern retail home has not really happened as how we see various segments in fashion, even footwear, even various other categories like eyewear and accessories like watches, but I think home has been somewhere behind.
So we just discussed the reasons for homeware. One of the key, if I have to use one word, that would be the real estate price as far as retail is concerned. That is one part. But before that, let's solve the other problems as well. So I'm just drawing a parallel. Chef Harpal Singh is a celebrity. Okay. Now whatever he does, he has come up with his own brand. But ultimately, that is going to last for, let's say, as far as the brand salience is concerned. But ultimately, the consumer is going to taste what he has created, right? So that's where the rubber will hit the road. So the celebrity part, it's not about marketing, it's ultimately about the merchandising or the product that comes into picture. Same goes with Krishna also. That now the brand is created, but is the product or the innovations that he comes up with, are they as per the requirement of the consumer? Are we customer centric or are we customer focused? Now from being customer focused, we'll have to get into customer centricity. Now this is the important part where the choices, we mentioned about 50 to 80 to 100 stores in the home segment, right? But that's it. we have got the research or the organized or the so-called modern guys. There are not more than 100, you can say, big and mid-level brands in India who are into this business. But look at 1.3 billion Indians. How can those 100 with into 5, 10, 15, 20 stores, let's say 600, 700 stores or 1,000 stores cater to the whole of India? So first of all, let's get into that aspect. A Chhota Bheem has a mass appeal in a village also and in our houses also across the metros. But what about this segment? I'm answering particularly about this segment. What are the choices that the consumer has? So today we are just talking about in the break about a trader in Santa Cruz, and he's a very big name. Okay, Now that retailer is a very big name. People go and purchase there. We get mid to premium level kind of merchandise out there. But what about the mass segment? And that's where the licensing part comes. The licensing is not catering to this segment because it can't. Try to understand. Krishna gave the names of couple of brands. Those brands who are giving licenses expect an X ROI. The retailer expects an X ROI. Then only the other things will create. Then what is the solution? The solution to this is Indian brands. Indian brands, so India will have to create brands and then license it. So let's say Harpal or a Krishna or a Hitesh or a Vishal creates the brands, take it to a certain level and then starts licensing it. Only 10% of the licensed brands only 10% of the brands that are licensed are Indian brands in India. Rest all of them are this. So 10 can be 7, 8 also. It can't be more than 10. It's not more than 10. So that is again one of the problems. So we have to address to that problems to create more brands so that it can be licensed, so that we can get into this category and extend it.
Great. I think we will just kind of conclude the session. I think it's been a great insight with Chinmay on his retail insights and Rajiv with his experience across fashion and home, and Krishna with his diverse experience with various retailers and now trying to make fashion in home more affordable, and Chef Harpal who wants to really have everybody cook and use utensils and products, which is going to be a great enabler to make delicious food. So one closing note from each of you on licensing and what's your take and what do you have to say to the forum here? What's the next contribution that you would do to the licensing that in your capacity or the vision that you feel is possible? Just one liner from each of you to conclude this session.
So like Hitesh rightly said, it's going to go far only if you don't look at the ROI, if you can reach the mass, So how do you bring fashionable products and they go right up to the villages of India? So you'll have to use designing skills, product expertise, supply chain, everything to get to that level. Otherwise, you'll end up having 12 different licensors, and like Rajiv said, it's very difficult because everybody has their own mind. So probably that's the way out.
I think scale is one word. Hitesh, one word just because we have to wind up.
Brand, Indian brands.
Chef Harpal.
I think I'm here to educate and decorate the kitchen.
Thank you.
I think great opportunity, but 3 to 5 years waiting time. If you are prepared, then only enter.
Krishna.
I think the market's very young, but we have clarity in what we want to do.
Right.
So that's what's important.
Great. So I'd like to just conclude your session here. Thank you all the co-panelists, eminent speakers, and Rutika, why don't you come here and felicitate all of them?
All right, so I'm very sure that was indeed a very, very insightful, conversation and a panel discussion. And it did answer a couple of your questions and the doubts which you would be having. Let me thank our moderator for the panel discussion retail exclusive, Mr. Vishal Sinha. Let's have a huge round of applause for him. Let us now felicitate our panelist, designer Mr. Krishna Mehta from India Circus.